What's going on, y'all? This is Q Ortiz, your local San Diego massage therapist, musician, and artist. And today I got a question from someone who they were asking about my transition from the car to being on two wheels, right? So yeah, it wasn't just straight there. It wasn't just like, all right, car to scooter or anything like that. It was like, so I mentioned living in my car, and then I ended up finding a place, like a room kind of situation, finding work, just boom, like getting into back into the groove, like getting a specific job. That I mentioned that I was like, it was good, just it wasn't some random, okay, now I just need to find a job. It was nice because I had choice in the matter, and it actually appeared to me, just that opportunity. So I was able to do that, and later my car actually ended up just like dying out on me, more so with there was something with the steering. I went to get it checked. It wasn't just the steering. They said you also need to repair this, and the cost to fix the car at that time was more than the car was worth. And I had already put so much into that car cuz it wasn't new when I got it. So I just, at that moment, yeah, I let it go. I would just let that weight off of me. It was like, woof, like out of there, and ended up on a bicycle. Like, so I went from the car to riding a bike, just two wheels, boom, just riding that up and down all these hills, back and forth here in San Diego, all these hills, riding on this bike. And over time, that was where I started to, I was just looking at I was looking at mopeds, looking at just what was the way to travel, what was the way to get around. And yeah, looking at scooters, like the stand-up scooters, looking at the 50cc scooters, and do you need a license for that? Just just in this research, I ended up finding e-bikes. And this was before now they're super popular. Everybody's riding an e-bike, but especially here. But at that time, they weren't really around too much. You may see one or two, like it just, they were not that popular. And I remember, I think I made a video about, because that was my transportation. And yeah, I found this shop. It was just near me. Went to the shop, or no, no, no. Actually, I called the shop and I said, "How much? How much is an e-bike? Like, how much is this e-bike plus tax? Like, whatever the cost is total." And they let me know, and then I was able to save up for that, just like to the cent. It's just like that. And it was cool because I had different gigs, different music gigs, boom. So just like, boom, made that, and was able to buy this e-bike. And the thing with the e-bike was that, especially under a certain class, under a certain speed, you didn't need a license, you didn't need insurance, you didn't need registration, you don't need gas. So, and then maintenance, I found out maintenance later was more fixing flat tires, because I had so many flat tires with that bike. But even still though, it was, yeah, like even with that, fixing a flat tire is way less expensive than all the car maintenance stuff. But then I did run into actually something with the motor, and that was a problem. That I ended up waiting a long time. I had to do lifts, and that was crazy. That was definitely crazy. But yeah, that was the transition. I moved to the e-bike, and on the e-bike I was doing like Uber kind of stuff, Uber Eats on the e-bike, doing Postmates on the e-bike. And then I've went through several e-bikes. I've gone through multiple different types after that one. Yeah, multiple e-bikes, foldable e-bikes at that, so you could put them in cars and put them on the train, the trolley, whatever. And yeah, years riding e-bikes. Yeah, like 6 years I think I was riding an e-bike. And just during that time, as I'm mentioning, there was no registration, there was no insurance, there was no license that you needed for that. So I was able to just kind of get where I needed to go on the e-bike. You don't have to worry about parking. You just go to where you need to go, lock it. Really, yeah, lock. Security is important. But that was really the journey. And it wasn't until I ended up moving away from where I was working, and I needed to have more distance, just more. I needed to travel further, and it just, like, the e-bike wasn't suitable for that. To sit on the e-bike for a certain amount of time, like, once you get up to like 40 minutes, that's a lot, especially not with those e-bikes that have the nice plush seat. This was just like regular seat. So yeah, once you get to 40 minutes on those regular kind of e-bikes, it's too much. So that's where, yeah, I ended up getting more like a scooter kind of situation where I could go further and faster and just still have that minimal lifestyle. Just, it's like on a need to know, or need to it's on a need. It's a need basis, to where I'd say, like, disadvantages of like e-bikes, bikes in general, potentially scooters, motorcycles, is, as far as carrying things. I've met different people who had cargo bikes, and they were able to carry a bunch of stuff on the bike. So it's not an excuse, and it's not like, oh, you can't do it. But I think about, say, a massage chair. Just think about, okay, could you carry that on your back on your bike? You need a wagon. Like, it's a lot. So I would look at it like that being one of the disadvantages of two wheels, just distance. And for me, I'm not into the riding on the freeway. Like, it's already freeway already. It's just like war zone, like, just a lot of energy on the freeway. And to be on two wheels on that, I'm not with that. So that's already disadvantage with the distance. But you could still, if you're getting around town, even if you're going further, there's back roads, and the seats are better on scooters. So it's more comfortable. Like, you get off, you stretch, boom, and then you keep going. So you could get distance on those kind of things. But then, say, yeah, if you did need to go specific places, you could hop on, whether it be like coasters or trains, or like, you could find a way. And then, or lifts, say if it's like a gig, and you you can take a lift to carry equipment there, and then you get paid, so that you could just like take the pay from the gig that you have to pay for the transportation. And that's like a part of it, comes with the gig, because that's something that it's not necessarily what you were going to do just on a daily basis, but it's just one of those things that came up and it comes with it. So that's a way that I would look at riding the e-bike. Say if I had a massage gig or something like that, where I could take a Lyft, take a Uber or something with the table, work on the client, take the table back, and just go about my business. And you don't have the overhead of a car. Like, yeah, the car is like, it's super useful, especially when you have one. It opens up a lot of the doors, opens up, just boom, you could go here and there. But just something to look at is like gas. That's how you get everywhere. So you gotta definitely maintain that tank. Like, oh, it's running low, all right, gas. If you gotta go here, gas. Then, as we were talking about, insurance, registration, license, the maintenance, and that's repairs, just whatever comes up. So you're saving for that too. And yeah, that was pretty much my transition. It was just more, it wasn't as short. It wasn't just like, oh, car and then scooter. It was like car, bike, mechanical bicycle, e-bikes, boom, and then finally moving to that, to where it's about the lifestyle. It's about doing what you got to do to move things forward. That was in one of my recent videos. It's just like, yeah, like not thinking about what other people are saying that you should do. Not just like, oh yeah, you should do, you gotta have this, like you gotta have. It's like, I met someone recently, they don't have a car. They used to have one, and now they just take the bus right now, and it's just what they're doing now. They see the logic in how it fits for their lifestyle, how it works. So if I got into a situation, or kind of just had a different kind of thing in my mind, to where I went, okay, yeah, I live further from where I need to be, and it makes more sense as far as maybe the commute is, because that's another thing to consider. Commute, you live here, you live far here, and then you got to go here every day or something like that, and the commute is at least an hour, at least 2 hours, at least, whatever it is, then that's something to think about. That's 1, 2, 4 hours a day, whatever the commute is that you're traveling, just going from here to there. So that it's just, those are those different factors. But say if that works for you, then it makes sense. And that's all I'm saying. It's just how it fits into the lifestyle. And yeah, if that came down to it, if it came down to, I'm living further, but this makes sense because maybe, oh, I have the property here, but I work here. It could be set up to where, yeah, I'm commuting, or if that doesn't work, can the job or the occupation, or just, but yeah, it's really, it's like the things that I'm involved in, they're in a certain area, they're around a certain area, and that's where the e-bike, it could still serve, because I need to go here, I need to be here, I need to be here. And if that's just like my basic need, then that's how I operated. Just living just basic needs. I was mentioning the debt, just like having that in the focus. Like, okay, how do I reduce the expenses, increase the income? Like, how do you do that? Reduce expenses, increase income. And the e-bike, it was one of those things in my mind of, it reduces expenses as far as gas, insurance, registration, all that, and just allowed for that consistency just throughout. So that's my story. I hope that answered your question. And if you like this video, click like. If you have any questions or comments, drop a comment below. And if you want to continue on this journey with me, click subscribe and we can vibe. Peace out.